This is the sound of silence. Okay. We're back. Woo! Welcome to Side by Side, a podcast where myself and Ondrej talk about how we run side projects while working for a big company. For the people who are listening to this for the first time, who are you and why should they keep listening? What do you have to say?
Who am I? Okay, so I'm Ondrej. I'm a dude from Slovakia working now in Austin, Texas for IBM. IBM Design, that's the important part, okay? IBM Design, that's the cool part of IBM. I do UX, and yeah, I guess that's me right now. What about you, Sammy? Tell us something real quick. Don't tell us
Yo.
that you are CEO of five companies, because I'm gonna sound like shit.
Not quite 5 companies yet, but I'm working on it. So yeah, I'm also a user experience designer here in Germany for IBM. And yeah, on the side, I'm still working as a CEO of a small software startup I co-founded in 2016, and it's me and two software developers, and I would say we produce cool stuff on the net. So yeah, Ondrej, what's up with your life?
Hey
Tell me.
man, what's up? What's up? Everything is going pretty much well. I didn't have so much time for any side projects because my side project right now is a trip to Mexico, which I'm gonna do at the end of April.
Oh,
I'm gonna
nice.
climb
Tell
a
me more about it.
volcano.
Yeah.
So it's a freaking epic thing. The volcano is called Pico de Orizaba, and it has 18K feet, so it's super super high. It's like 5.5 thousand meters above the sea level, and I've never been so high in my life, so I don't know how is it gonna work. But what we know, there is a hut in the middle of the mountain. We call it Pizza Hut. So we are all the time joking. We're gonna climb to Pizza Hut, and then from there we're gonna hike 7 hours to top of a hill. Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. But my friend, he's really experienced, so it's gonna be okay. And it's so funny because
Okay.
we met randomly in Austin. He's from the same town, and he likes climbing. And after 3 hours. Talking about stuff, he was like, "Dude, do you want to do this with me?" I'm like, "Sure."
Awesome.
So I'm excited about
Sounds
that.
great.
Yeah.
You were going up
So
like in
these
the
two,
morning, like to see the sunrise?
yeah, yeah, that's the point. That's the point because you have to
Ah.
like wake up like 2 in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
or actually maybe even at midnight, and go up. So you come in a good time up the hill,
Okay.
and then you have to hike again like 5 hours down. So it's gonna be adventure,
Ah, I'm
and I
really
don't know what
jealous right
I'm
now.
like. Yeah. Well, you could join us if you're here.
Yeah,
But
if I would.
yeah. So this took most of my time planning, getting the gear, the clothes and all the stuff, reading all the guidelines about how to get there, how not to get robbed by Mexicans, how not to trust the police in Mexico and stuff like that. It's
Mm-hmm.
crazy. It's even written there is a book written about how to not bribe, but how not to give any money to police, how to like avoid speaking English. You should not talk in English with them. Pretend you are an European guy, so we're gonna speak Slovak with my friend if they stop us. Do not give them original documents, just give them photocopies. So it's fucking nuts. But
Okay.
yeah, so that's why this took all my time. So, but yeah, but I know you were traveling too, man. Like, what's up with you? You went
Yeah.
to Bali, right?
Yeah, I just came back like yesterday. So yeah, I was
Whoa.
traveling for 1 week around Malaysia, visiting a friend who's
Uh huh.
studying there since 1.5 years. And we made a great trip
Ooh.
from one side to the other side of the country. So I went to
Uh huh.
Kuala Lumpur. That's where I landed, and then
Nice.
we went to Penang, which is a city on an island, really beautiful there.
Uh huh.
We stayed there for a couple of days. Had a great time there. Uh, did a little bit of partying because a lot of backpackers are there. And then I traveled to the other side of the country to Kuantan, where he's studying.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went up to a small island. Uh, I forgot the name right now. Shit. But it was really beautiful. It looked like a Caribbean island there. Not a lot of people,
Okay.
only like a couple of ferries going back and forth. Yeah, after that,
You have a.
after that trip to Malaysia, I went to
Uh huh.
Bali for like 2 weeks. And I stayed there in Canggu, which is the digital nomad and solo entrepreneur hub around the world. I think you
Whoa.
don't,
Okay.
yeah, I think you don't find like
I don't even know
more
about that.
people. Like
Yeah.
it's really
Mm-hmm.
amazing how many like smart people you meet there, and like everyone is working on their own project and stuff, and have so
So
much
why do
things
they all
going
meet
on.
there?
Because of the weather, and like it
Okay,
is really beautiful there on
it's cheap.
Bali, and you can
Mm-hmm.
live really cheap. Like can
Okay.
have like if you get a salary from the US or outside of like Indonesia, you
Ah,
can live there like a
okay.
king. And like
Nice,
everything is
nice,
so
nice.
hip there.
Nice, nice. Tell me, how did you learn about this? Like, why did you pick Bali or anything? I guess I know I get it that you tell me this is a hub for people like you, but I mean, it's like you just went to Booking.com and you chose a place to go, or I mean, it's for me it would be like, how should I go there?
Yeah. I'm within a community of like digital nomads, and they're called Outside, and they have co-living,
Yeah.
co-working locations all around the world.
Ah,
And there it is where I also saw that they recently launched a location in Canggu, Bali. And they had a really great deal there for the opening. Like book 1 week in April, and you get the second week free.
that's a deal,
Yeah,
man. That's so cool.
that was I it was so cheap
Nice.
for me to stay there that it was literally a
Uh-huh.
no-brainer. So, yeah,
Right.
that's how I found out about it. And like the location there is really beautiful. Like
Hmm.
awesome staff there who is helping you with
Yeah.
everything and stuff. The house manager
Cool.
organizes you a scooter and like a SIM card and everything, and like you're really pretty much set then after the first day of
Okay.
arrival.
Right. So is there, I mean, do you have all the photos on Instagram or did you do like some Insta
I posted
stories
a
and
lot of
stuff like that from the place?
stories, so that's also maybe we can
Okay.
speak about. Like I experienced that I stopped posting on Instagram, like on my profile, since
Hmm.
stories became so big, and everything is like. And I
Hmm.
have the same feeling. Like if I scroll through my newsfeed on Instagram, it is everything from pages, like all like profiles are not
Hmm.
from private people like my friends who post stuff
Uh-huh.
anymore. It's like it's all like some companies I follow who post stuff on
Okay.
Instagram, and like I have the
Why do you
feeling.
follow companies on Instagram? Just get rid of them.
No, it's not like companies. It's like those this one drone artist guy who has a profile, or this designer I
Okay.
follow. People like this, but not like. So I feel like all the personal stuff is happening within the stories right
Mm.
now. And I'm curious if
Right.
this is like a general thing or only a thing I'm experiencing. How's it for you?
It's similar here. I mean, also the experience of just like tapping, it's so much quicker than scrolling and like looking through all those
Yeah.
images. So I don't really like social media too much, but I mean, I'm kind of using Insta stories lately, to tell my like story about the trip to Mexico. So yeah,
Yeah.
I feel you. But this is cool. So for our listeners, you use outside.com
No, not
to
dot com,
get
dot
to.
co. It's outside
Oh my
dot
God.
co, and outside like website, not like
Mhm.
outside with a T. So yeah,
Sammy, it
that's
would be
their
just easier if you
domain.
spell it.
It's out SITE dot co.
Nice, nice.
That's their
Okay, so it's the
website.
same company we have used in Hawaii
Hawaii, yeah.
when we were surfing there. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's a
Yeah.
cool thing. I was also thinking about joining as a member because I think it's a sweet deal. Might
Yeah,
do it later
you only
in the
get
year.
like if
Yeah,
you only get this deal I was speaking about if you are a member. If
yeah,
you pay like I think they
yeah,
moved it up because like it was only $99 for the first 100 people. I think now it's up to
yeah,
130 for 1 year,
yeah.
and
Some
you
of
get
that.
all those special
Hmm.
deals then. Which can make
Okay,
if you use it on a frequent basis, it makes all the difference. Like it pays for itself,
right,
and you get a Nomad List membership too.
right, right, right. And I mean, we can real quick talk about this remote work. I think, or like traveling around. Sometimes, when I don't have a people to travel, let's say here in USA, I was like, oh damn, I don't really want to travel and work from the hotel. It feels kind of weird. I don't really want to do stuff on my own, alone and stuff like that. But then you told me, hey, why don't you use outside? I mean, you're gonna find people who are like you anywhere in the world. So that's kind of cool. I started looking at around on the map around the world, like where is outside. So I could just like go to, let's say, Portugal, like join their outside place in Lisboa, and like work from there. So I'm gonna meet like nice people there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
totally.
that's
Like
pretty cool.
when I was in
Yeah.
Bali, there were like on a frequent basis, it was on average like 6 people in the house, and we even had like a family style breakfast and on each Friday, and so you met all those people, and yeah, it's like everyone is kind of the same but different. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Right. You mean a lot
So
of people.
yeah.
Cool. So we talked a lot about your trip to Bali, like why you went there. Did you have a chance to work on your project from there? Because like we're actually using your company's project Lido to record this podcast. So did you work on Lido from there or?
Yeah, so I usually do those trips, and I did this one too with the intention to get work done. Because as running side projects while working for a big company is like can be really exhausting. In if you're
Right.
like do your side projects in your spare time while you're working. So I took vacation for making a trip like this, and yeah,
Wait. So you took vacation to work on your side projects
yeah,
abroad. So you like bought the flight, or you buy the flight tickets, you're paying for the accommodation, and you're taking vacation to work on a side project. That's dedication, man. Awesome. I
yeah,
like your drive.
because like if you do it like this, like you go to places
Yeah.
like this, like Bali or all the other
Uh-huh.
places, they have Puerto Rico, they have Hawaii. Like if you go there in these co-living, co-working spaces, you can actually enjoy nature and have like a regular vacation and like can travel around and see
Right.
stuff,
Right.
but still can
Right.
focus if you need it on your side projects. And that's what I do. Like that's my
Yep.
little productivity hack. Like I don't have like this
Mm.
regular basis where I work on stuff. I would say I have these peaks where things is happening, and one of those peaks was my trip to Bali now, where I got a lot of stuff done.
Nice. 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 You said you did a lot of stuff, so it's something you want to talk about?
Yeah, so for Lito, I started working on the user experience design and the UI design for the screen sharing feature that's coming up, which was highly requested by our early users, and also we, as our own users, experienced that we still had to go to other tools to use that feature. And it has its challenges with our concept because we have channels in Lito, and so it's not like you
Mm-hmm.
have to understand as a user that you are sharing your screen only with the channel and not the whole team. So that's
Okay.
kind of a challenge there. So
Right. Right. So you're gonna share with the channel, and I guess, can you guys, or can I, as a user, decide whatever I want to share? Like whether I want to share like an app, or I want to share my whole desktop, or is it MVP like share everything?
this is the thing. Like we have to stage it in the beginning. It will be
Yeah.
only like your whole display. Like there's
Okay.
no way, and it's not valuable like that we hide that feature until we got everything like every other application has. Like it will be share your whole screen and only one
Yeah.
person at a time and only one channel, and that's it for the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think that makes sense to have one person sharing for the whole channel. But yeah, if from my experience, so many people share their whole desktop in front of huge audiences, they forget to turn off their notifications, and things can get very embarrassing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
yeah,
but
I guess,
since
yeah,
Lito is not built like for huge
I know,
audiences, it's like it's more
yeah,
within your team. It should be fine for the beginning. Like, yeah, you have to
totally,
start
yeah, I
somewhere.
agree with you, man.
Yeah,
Yep, MVP. So
yeah.
I'm totally with that. Cool. That sounds like an exciting thing. How did you? What was the process of designing that?
Uh, Basically, like starting with some wireframes for it. Like, I
Uh
didn't
huh.
do like a huge design process on that because if you work on those small little projects on the side, you cannot afford to do all the big work. Like you just look at other applications, get some inspirations how they do it, and then you think about the
Right.
best possible way to get the first hi-fi design as quickly as possible
Sure.
out the door so your developers
Mm-hmm.
can see it, have a look at it, and like give feedback. Actually, I got really good feedback from one of my developers when he was looking
Cool.
at the stuff,
Cool.
like
Mm-hmm.
actually pointing me to that, okay, we need an indicator that you only share this with your channel, and that you are, if you
Mm-hmm.
leave the channel, that there's something which tells you, oh, that will stop the screen sharing
Yep.
um,
Yeah.
because you
Okay.
move out of the channel. And so, yeah, that's something I have still to iterate on and build into my design, but it's actually already out the door in hi-fi design, so that my developer can start like coding it and using it, and like using it for his kind of prototype, his technical feasibility prototype he's currently doing.
Right. Right, right. So you gave him some kind of like a direction that he should use
Yeah,
when
yeah,
he's building a prototype.
yeah.
Did you do an InVision or it was mostly like Sketch?
It was done in
Or
Sketch, and it was done with we use Zeppelin for uploading the screens, and there
right,
you
right,
just
right.
like you name them in a sequence, and it was like 5 6 screens. I only, because it's not a lot you have to design. It's like showing how to
Sure.
turn on, how to turn off, and then the other users view, like you have to show two views, like what is the view for the one who's sharing and what is the view for the other one who's seeing what someone
Yeah.
shares. And that's
Cool.
what I showed him with different states of buttons and stuff like that, and
Uh huh.
that helped him.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. I would be interested to see later on how is it implemented. Like, is it is it like a box on the Lido page, or is it going full screen or stuff like this? But we can show me this later after
Yeah.
the podcast. But this was pretty cool, man. What else did you work on?
So yeah, one thing I did on Bali was like refining our logo for the podcast, giving it the new name,
Ooh.
and like setting
Uh-huh.
up the distribution of the podcast, like uploading it to transistor.fm from Justin Jackson and John Burda. And yeah, then releasing it and putting it on iTunes. And I reached out to Spotify, got no response yet. So, Spotify, if you hear that, please
Whoa!
respond. We want to be on
Whoa! Oh
Spotify.
my God!
Yeah.
Oh my God! Should I cancel my Spotify? I have a Spotify family. I can kill that if they
Yeah.
don't want us there.
Yeah. Cancel the whole family thing.
Oh my God!
Your family thanks you
That's
for that,
nasty. That's
probably. Yeah.
why would they do that to us?
Yeah, because
Okay.
the hosting company we're using,
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, they are
The
not yet.
transistor.
Yeah, they're like a really early stage startup, and we really like to.
Okay.
I like to support them because Justin Jackson is a nice guy, and it's really amazing what they built. Like, it will be probably a really solid podcast hosting platform in the future,
Cool.
and they have no like a contract or something with Spotify yet.
Spotify. Right.
Yeah.
Well, whatever. We
Whatever.
can live without Spotify
Yeah, we can live.
for
We have
some
a
time.
really nice website from Transistor, like easily set up. Like it
Yeah.
was really easy to
Yeah.
set this
Yeah.
up, implement
So
stuff.
that was interesting when you posted on your Facebook the link to the iTunes. Like, hey, people, listen to Spotify. I realized not many people. I mean, iTunes is so clunky, right? Like you have to. It's gonna open your iTunes. It's gonna. It's like annoying way how you get it because it opens the website and it tells you have to go to your app. Blah blah blah. It's just so much. It
Yeah,
takes time. But when we posted the link to Transistor, there was like bam immediately
you can
in there.
listen
You can
to it.
listen
Yeah,
to it,
yeah. I
and
didn't like.
that's the experience you want to have.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
like the experience. Like that's something. Also, it's a really old UI. Like the style of it from the
Yeah.
iTunes website. It's still the old Apple style from like iOS 4 or something.
Right. Right.
So lot of
Yep.
room to improve there, Apple. It
Yep.
is like you should be able to like listen to these stuff or like see a preview of it like immediately in your browser, not opening iTunes. That's what
Yep.
I'm
Yep.
looking for. But I found
That.
something other really interesting and I didn't thought about it. Like I waited until our podcast was on Apple iTunes until I posted about it. And then I posted about it. And then you, in your post, saw that it was actually necessary to also post the website because people might not using Apple products and then they are not able to listen
Exactly. Yeah.
on
Talk
it
about the
with
users. Like
iTunes. Yeah.
my parents would they don't even know what is probably like MacBook and stuff like
Yeah.
that or iTunes. So
And other people
yeah.
reached out to me too and like were, man, I'm not using an iPhone. How can I listen to it? I'm on Android. And I
Yep.
was like,
Yep.
fuck, yeah, shit. You should like
Yep.
really like
Yep.
always put something which is accessible for everyone, not only iTunes.
Yeah.
So I was so stoked
Yep.
about
Yep.
that we are on iTunes that I like basically forgot the other half of the people.
Yeah. I guess your point of being on iTunes was to have people to subscribe right?
Mm-hmm.
So they can listen to our episodes in future. So that's why you're like, hey, everyone get in iTunes. But yeah, it doesn't really make
Yeah.
so much sense if we don't have users using iTunes, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like,
Yeah,
but it's also the biggest distribution channels for podcasts still. Um,
yeah,
but yeah, there is like this burden. You forget about half of the people who don't have an iPhone and don't use like a Mac or are not used to using iTunes. They
yeah,
probably not download iTunes for
yeah,
your podcast.
yeah. So we can talk about one thing since we are already talking about how we started
Mm-hmm.
the podcast on iTunes and Transistor. We could also talk about how we do this. I mean, we are just starting out, and we can help. Because I had some people asking the word like, "Hey guys, how did you start this? This is kind of cool. Like, do you want to talk about it? Like, what kind of tools we use or what we used before? I know this is just our second episode, but it could be interesting for some people."
Yeah, you can speak about that. Just talk to it. You did a good job right now.
All right. Okay. So when we started the first episode, we use a GarageBand. Sammy has like a pretty cool microphone, and he hooked it up at home. It worked cool for him, but because I didn't have time, I just used the Apple. Are these guys? The Apple standard iPhone earphones or headphones or what are those? And we used the GarageBand, and we had some problems of echoes, and it was weird because it used my computer to record sounds, and I don't know, like the first one wasn't so good. So this time we're using Audacity, and I hope it's gonna be better, so we can directly see if we are peaking at some points. What that means is that let's say if I say something super loud, it's gonna go over the limit of a microphone, it's gonna clip, so we can see the levels. That's kind of cool. But yeah, we're just gonna probably use Audacity to put it all together. So it's not such a big deal.
Yeah, it's an open source software. Everyone can download it, and like, what I would recommend everyone who wants to start a podcast, just get your first recording together as fast as possible and just start talking. You can cut later. So yeah, the thing is always like, maybe that's a thing we can also talk about. Like, people who are
Yeah,
always asking how I'm managing to do all those side projects, and probably for you too, they're like, man, how do you find that time to do that thing? And blah, blah, I don't have time. And always say, like, man, that's bullshit. That's basically bullshit. Because if you want to do this, then it's a matter of priority. Everyone has 24 hours in their day. And
yeah,
often it is people not starting stuff. So with this podcast, we said, like, let's just fucking do it. Let's do it.
yeah.
And
Let's
like,
do it. Let's see how it goes.
yeah, and
Yeah,
just see how it goes. Like, you can apologize later if you fuck up, but you probably will not. Like, with a podcast, you just put it out there, and if no one listens to it, then that's fine. No one listened to it. You
yeah,
do the next thing. If still not, somewhere in the future, or somebody like hates you after that, or whatever feeling you think you might have after someone listened to it, you can delete it still.
yeah.
So
Right. And I think in this case, when we decided to start this podcast, what really helped was that Sammy was really driving this. Like, oh yeah, we gotta really start doing the podcast, and we scheduled a time in our calendar, and we started doing this. I think it really helps when you do side projects. Do you have other people who sometimes push you or motivate you to do stuff? Because in
yeah,
my case, for example, I might have like 5, 6 side projects open at the moment, but I am not really working on them because I don't see the urge to do it. Like, I'm writing 3 blogs at the same time. I have them mostly finished, but I sometimes don't really want to find any time. I'm just like, I don't really care. Like, I don't really want to find time to work on it. It's not really high on my priority list. But as soon as I have somebody else involved in it, like, hey, I'm working on this podcast with Sammy, and Sammy's waiting for me to do it, then I'm really committed. So
yeah, you feel bad. You feel bad. Like,
right. I don't want to let you down, man.
yeah.
So
Yeah, it's like, it's a matter of holding someone who holds you accountable. And that's one advice I would give
yeah,
everyone who wants to do side projects or start a side project. Find that out of you, and like, find that person who holds you accountable, and set up like fixed dates. Like, make it like almost going to a sports club, like for soccer or something. Like, you have every Friday, you get together with your team and you train for that tournament that is coming up on the weekend, and like, make that thing with the other you who is holding you accountable for things. with your side projects. Set fixed dates,
Totally.
said, okay, we're gonna do this on this day, and then you agree both on it, and then there's no way around it, and then you get things done.
Yeah. Because it exactly because like when you work on your own projects, you do wireframes, you do sketches, like this is the best thing I've ever done, and then after 2 weeks, like you look left and they're like, oh yeah, there's something else. So you start working on
Yeah.
the second thing. You work on the third thing, fourth and fifth, and then you're like, oh man, I should finish them, but you don't want to because there's a second, like another thing which comes up, and there is nobody else telling you, like, hey, focus on this one, or you really want to finish this one. So sometimes I'm really like I'm excited about stuff, then I'm not, and I stop working on it. So, but maybe that's okay. You just like find the things which you want to work on, and you just ditch the other things. But it's a pity when you don't finish stuff and you leave it like 70% done. So
Yeah, it really comes down to that your attention is like focused on one thing because there is this other
yeah,
person who is might
yeah,
upset if you don't invest time in it, and you see also the other
mm-hmm.
person investing time in it. That also helps
Yeah,
you to motivate you, and like in terms of, oh shit, this person did like half an hour work for that, I should probably do the same. And then you immediately find those time frames in your
yeah,
day where you can put that effort in, if
yeah,
that's a thing for you. So it's always a matter of priority.
yeah. Right, right. That makes me think that maybe next time I'm writing a blog, I should just team up with somebody else and like divide the work. I like ask them for some parts for the blog, like co-write a blog together. Because then like you have somebody else pushing you, and yeah, that might work. Actually, I should do it.
Oh, that's a good idea. Like really, like I'm really thinking about like maybe you like set like fixed dates where you deliver something. You can do it like this. You set fixed dates where you send someone something for review. Like we did with our
Mm-hmm.
blog posts, we always give us like if
Yep.
Ondrej writes something, he sends it over to me and I provide him feedback before he releases it, even really early in the writing process. I should
Mm-hmm.
probably start doing the same, but I've not written that much in the last couple of
Yeah.
months. So that's maybe a thing where you can find the same kind of behavior. So set fixed dates for sending something for review and getting feedback.
Yeah. Or like, do you remember the Porsche blog post which I was writing about, like
Mm-hmm.
how UX designers not so good in promoting themselves?
Yeah. When do I get the next draft?
When I wrote it, yeah, that's the thing, right? So when I wrote it, I was like, it feels kind of, I mean, maybe not on point, maybe it's not so good. I wasn't sure, but I was like, I'll send to Sammy and see how it goes. He destroyed it. He was like, man, this is
I'm
horrible.
sorry.
Like, I mean, some parts were like, I was excited about it, then you blew it up in so many parts. Like, you have to make it better. I was like, man, thank you for telling me that because I felt the same way when I was writing it and I wanted to finish it, but I didn't have any time for it. So it's like it's still in that state. It's like all
Yeah.
messy and it's not good anymore. So maybe what I should do is like take your feedback which you put there and let you contribute to the article with your own thoughts. So it's a mix of my thoughts with your thoughts
Mm.
and
Yeah,
and
maybe.
really sit together.
That could also
That
be
might
a yeah.
be a quicker way
Yeah.
because you have your opinion on this too, so it could work out
Yeah.
better.
Yeah, I also say like giving feedback on articles can also slow you down and like um, make like because it's only my opinion on your article.
Yeah, I was saying that if you get feedback from too many people, it's really slowing it down. It was slowing me down at least, because the first article which I had about how not to go insane when your epic project is killed, I gave it to like 5 people to read it. Everybody gave me different opinions. And I was like, I was just feeling lost. Like, hey, how should I, which part should I take, which not? And then people were adding more and more. So I was like, oh, it's not mine anymore. It's like written by a bunch of other people. So I was like, I have to slow down and like keep my thoughts inside of it, and ask only a couple of people to give me feedback, not like too many.
Yeah, totally see that. Okay, so
Yeah.
I think we recorded enough
Wow.
for today, Andre. How do you feel?
Wow. Yeah, this was a good conversation. I really liked how we got organically into the part where we talked about how we started, how we work on side projects. That it's so much cooler to have people to work with. Even though you were in Bali, you were still in touch with your developers. That you didn't bail on them because you were like, "I'm on the beach and I'm not gonna work." You were like,
Yeah.
I can still work from here," and I guess that helped you to having people in Germany waiting for your work helped you to be motivated to work. Because if it was just you working on your own project, you'll be just like chilling on the beach, like, nah, I can do it tomorrow. Like there is no stress. But
Yeah.
working with other people definitely helps. So
Yeah.
you know that.
And I was also doing this. Like I took the time. When I needed it, I took it. But I always knew, okay, I have to deliver this by then, and then I got productive. And also it was the setting with the people around me. Like everyone is so productive there that it's hard for you to be not productive. Like people getting up at like 4:30 in the morning to do like meditation and stuff and then get like really early morning work done, like really productive. They get together like just to sit right next to other people who are working to motivate them. And so that was right, like a really good spirit to get stuff done and a really nice environment
Nice,
for you.
nice, nice,
Yeah.
nice. So what you're saying is like doing home office all the time, being alone at home. It's not really the way how you can get stuff done.
That's why people go to cafes and like work from there because they want to be surrounded by other people.
Sure, sure. And in Austin, you have so many of these like co-working spaces, right?
Yeah.
Not really where you go and sleep,
Yeah.
right? It's mostly like for working. It's
Yeah.
like we work and stuff like that. So I totally get that point. Cool. Well,
Awesome.
this was a cool session. Thanks, Sammy.
Yeah, really enjoyed talking
I
to you
really liked
again.
where it went. And it kind of opened my mind. It's like, hey, if I redo side projects, I have to get some other people involved in it. Because sometimes you're like, I can wing it. I can do it on my own. I can do everything easy. I don't
Yeah.
want to share the ideas with other people. Uh, I want to first do it on my own, but it's a good if you involve other people, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, really. So it
It's
also
good.
triggered for me,
Yeah.
like I will send you an article after we stop the recording
Mhm.
immediately where I want your feedback on because like I'm writing this in a silo and
I'm
I
good.
need like
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
know
yeah,
you have a
yeah,
lot
yeah.
on your
Let's
plate,
let's do
but
this. Yeah.
yeah.
I have to get ready for the trip to
Yeah,
Mexico. I'm
yeah,
gonna
I
do
know.
hiking. So
But like
yeah, but I
just
can
if
try
you
to
find
find
some
time.
spare time, like read through
Yeah.
it. Good.
Yep.
Awesome.
Awesome. Will
So
do.
Andre, where can the people find you on the internet?
Yeah. So lately I've been most active on Instagram, and you just find me there under my handle OndrejHomola. So you can write me there about work stuff, about side projects, about anything, trip to Mexico, Austin, cars, Miatas, whatever. Don't worry. Or
Okay.
working at IBM. I'm open to talk about things. What about you,
Awesome.
Sammy? You are everywhere with the same handle, which is good.
Yeah, I'm everywhere with the same handle, which is my first name Sammy, and then my last name Schuckert. So Sammy Schuckert.
Hmm.
And yeah, probably you find me or can reach me best on Twitter. I would say that's where I'm most active.
Okay, cool.
And if you
That's
want
good.
to see cool stuff from my trips, like follow my Instagram story. That's where I put my life, basically. Woo! Awesome. So we really appreciate it if you listened all the way to the end again. And we would like to hear your feedback. So tweet at us, write us on Instagram. Yeah, just let us know what you think about the episode. And thanks to the people that reached out to us after listening to the last episode, which was our first and initial one. So really, really, really appreciate that. And like, thank you for listening to, and your feedback is really helpful, and it also cheers us up to like keep this thing going and like get momentum for recording another episode. So thanks.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you. And in general, if you would leave us a 5-star review on Apple iTunes, that would be amazing because that's where people cover the podcast. It's one of the biggest channels. So if you enjoyed listening to this, please give us a 5-star review and your honest comment in the review section of
Yeah.
iTunes. Thanks.
Yeah, if you want to give us like a mediocre 3-star review, then please reach out to us before you do that. 'Cause we want to talk with you, like what we could do better next time, and then we would try to make it better.
Yeah.
Don't give us bad reviews because we are starting right now.
Yeah.
It's not fair.
No one
Just
likes bad
support
reviews.
us.
Mm.
Mm-mm.
I
Mm-mm.
I probably
I like
could not.
feedback, but
Yeah.
not bad reviews.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good thing.
Sammy wouldn't sleep, you know?
Yeah, I would
Sammy
probably
would be
have
super
nightmares
sad
about
about
this.
it.
Like 3 stars. Think
Yeah.
about that. Ooh,
Yeah.
two are
Yeah.
missing.
Three
Ugh.
stars is like, it's like 5 out of 10.
Yeah, that's
Nothing
like
special.
ooh, giving me goosebumps right now.
Lame,
Okay,
lame
lame.
German and Slovakian.
We should now stop the recording.
Oh my god, I'm
Ding.
not gonna.
Is it record? Is it a record thing? Brap. Did you stop?